I visited Japan this April, and like everyone else, I was on the hunt for some matcha. Before my trip, I made a wish list for myself and friends, but honestly, I was not about to wait in long lines for matcha. So of all the matcha I did end up purchasing, most of it was actually purchased in Uji. The first being the people's favorite, Maruku Koimen. We got there right at 9 a.m. and we were the second group in line. They had a 1 tin per person limit, so I picked up their spring seasonal and Wes was able to grab a tin for a friend. They also have a really detailed breakdown of each of the flavor profiles of their matchas, and I also recommend trying their matcha ice cream while you're here too. Yamamasa Koimen is right around the corner and they are cash only. There's no filming allowed inside, but it was basically like an office vibe. The 1 tin per person limit applies here as well. From there, we walked all the way over to Nakamura Tokichi, and this was pure chaos. We got there just before opening, and once the doors opened, I watched as people literally ran inside. I'm not sure if this has changed, but there was a 5 tin per person limit, but I definitely saw people hoarding way more within their baskets. I only grabbed 1 tin here because I was adhering to my list, but we had to leave for a matcha milling workshop right after. I'll do a completely separate video on that experience, but at the workshop location, I was lucky to find a limited edition Maruku Koimen tin. After lunch, we visited Hori Shichimiya, one of my personal favorite brands, and I had a pleasant experience here, even though there were a lot more people than the store could probably handle. The staff took us in group by group, and they were able to give us personalized recommendations based off of how we like our matcha. For lattes, I picked up the Hatsumukashi, and for usucha, I just grabbed their spring seasonal. I also picked up a tea canister as well as some gokuro while I was here, and this was actually the last place on my Uji day trip where I purchased matcha, mainly because I wanted to adhere to my list and I didn't want to purchase matcha for the sake of purchasing matcha. Some of the smaller stores definitely did still have stock, and I was even able to spot a full kilo of Maruku Koimen. If you're also looking to get your hands on some Sujuri matcha, I think you'll have better luck in a loft because by 3 p.m. everything was wiped out. I personally found a ton of inventory in Tokyo, specifically the Shibuya location, and when it comes to purchasing matcha from cafes, I found that the stock was a hit or miss. I'm not sure what stock was like in Tokyo for Hatoya, but at their Kyoto location, I found that it was pretty quiet and they still had plenty of matcha available. I also visited a tea house called Yugen, selling their own matcha as well. Within Tokyo, I found that the Matcha Tokyo still had plenty of good selection across all of their stores, but I can't say the same for Atelier Matcha, which sells out almost instantly. I believe at the time of my visit, they were only releasing 20 tins per day. That being said, I wasn't focused on trying to get my hands on their matcha. I was just there for the cafe. I'm really excited to start reviewing everything that I picked up, so be sure to follow along if you're into matcha reviews or just love Japan travel vlogs.